Names of Maine's fallen heroes etched in stone lead the way to the Korean War Monument at Mount Hope Cemetery in Bangor. Among those honored is Cyrus Hayden.
He is a pretty unique fellow.
Hayden was born in York, Maine, and was a Navy flag bearer on the USS Colorado. He repelled enemy attacks as they tried to take down the American flag during the Korean Expedition of 1871. His efforts rallied U.S. troops to win the battle.
The place of honor in any battle is the standard bearer, which is the United States flag. He is honored, and the enemy always tries to take our standard.
It's pretty fascinating to find out that, in 1871, the guy was in the Korean that was American that was killed.
Hayden earned the Congressional Medal of Honor for his bravery. Master of Ceremonies Edward Davis says his courage won't be forgotten.
Many, many, many people before me placed their lives in harm's way to make sure it will always be free.
A message to remember and an example to rally behind.
The Americans persevered, however.
In Bangor, John Zero, News Center. Beneath the ocean waves, creatures of epic proportions live and sometimes die without humans ever knowing they're there.
Sperm whales, they live most of their lives up to a mile underwater. No one ever thinks about them. They're way out of the picture.
But when a 50-foot-long sperm whale turned up dead in Frenchman Bay, the mammal drew lots of attention. It was taken to Bar Harbor for analysis.
We're taking as much science from this animal as we can. We're taking samples, we're trying to understand how the animal died, and we're also collecting information that will add to a national database for this particular species.
Director of Allied Whale Dr. Sean Todd leads a team of researchers as they dissect the whale. The cause of death is unknown, but sperm whales have few natural predators. Hunting sperm whales was outlawed in 1986, but Todd says pollution and human interaction can lead to the death of many sea creatures.
We've not done a very good job managing the oceans thus far. There are a few cases where we are doing more sustainable practices, but in general we've not done a great job. And most of us in the science business agree that the first step to rectifying that situation is education.
The crew working on the whale are all students at the College of the Atlantic. Amy Kirkham is an intern with Allied Whales. She says studying marine biology can lead to other discoveries.
By learning what evolution has given to this group of animals, we can also learn a lot of really cool solutions for things that might seem to concern more of the human population.
The whale's remains will be removed from the beach in one tidal cycle.
There's these incredible instances of life and wildlife everywhere, and if you just pay attention to them, it can be really inspiring.
A whale of a tale to learn from. In Bar Harbor, John Zero, News Center. Their names and faces have changed over the decades, yet the Katahdin remains much the same. The steamboat has been ferrying people across Moosehead Lake in Greenville for 98 years.
The Moosehead area was very important and very instrumental in the development of the state.
The 115-foot-long boat was built by Bath Iron Works in 1914 and is the company's oldest working vessel.
In 1938, she was changed from a steamship for passengers to a steamship for work, booming logs.
The steamer helped keep the lumber industry thriving till the mid-70s, pulling logs across the 42 miles of Moosehead Lake.
The Katahdin would haul somewhere between 4,000 and 6,000 cord of wood at a time. It would literally look like it was towing an island.
Now the boat is used to take people on tours of the lake, recounting the trip through history that the Katahdin helped to create. But the boat is more than a novelty from the past. Over 7,000 people come to visit the Katahdin every year. Half of those people are from out of state. Local business owners say the boat is helping to fuel the economy.
We need as much business here as possible, and such an icon of the Northwoods of Maine, it's really important to keep that going.
Abby Freely owns Northwoods Gourmet Girl and sells food on the boat. But to keep the visitors coming, the whole of the Katahdin needs rebuilt, a $500,000 job.
We're here to preserve the history of the area and remind people of the way things used to be.
The more businesses work together, the more advantageous that could be for the entire town of Greenville.
A partnership from the past to the present that may be an investment for the future. In Greenville, John Zero, News Center. Cooler temperatures, fall colors, and hunter's orange mean one thing: open season for moose hunting.
This is my second moose hunt. This is the first one that's been mine. I've been trying for 16 years, so.
Josh Botting is having his moose inspected at the Mount Hope Wilderness Variety Tagging Station.
Spread 28 inches.
It's his first time bringing in a moose.
It's all about just luck, you know. You got to be in the right place at the right time, and you know, they're all over, but getting someplace where you can see them. They look big, but when they get up there in the woods, you know, they blend right in.
This is the 12th moose to be tagged at Wilderness Variety in just 2 days. Wildlife biologist Lee Cantor says the conditions are just right to see moose in the middle of their rut.
I had a moose this morning that was 1,054 pounds. That's a huge moose. Every year we probably do about half a dozen moose that are that size.
The Maine moose hunting season has 3 short periods in September, October, and November. Cantor says the state has one of the densest moose populations in the lower 48, with an estimated population of 76,000. Wildlife officials say you never know the challenges you might face on a hunt, so be prepared. Research the area you're going into and plan ahead. This year, the state gave out more than 3,700 moose hunting permits by lottery, but some people feel the system has flaws.
A lot of permits go to people from out of state, and it used to be that they got a lot more chances than we did as residents. So, you know, there's 16 years is a long time, and you know, it'd be nice to get one sooner. There's a lot of people from Maine that apply and never get one. So,
in the state of Maine, people value moose both for hunting and for viewing, just seeing moose. So we have to strike a real balance with that.
A balance that helps the moose thrive.
You have lots of moose. It's a fantastic taste of Maine.
And people to keep coming back for the fall tradition of open season. In Mount Chase, John Zero, News Center. The Corbett family farm sits on 124 acres of land in Greenbush. More than 40 vehicles, scrap metal, and an assortment of other items fill the property, all in violation of the town's code against private junkyards. The Corbetts say they've been trying to clean things up.
We work day and night. We work sometimes till 10 o'clock at night. We didn't eat supper till 10:30 at night, and then we got up the next morning and we did the same thing.
But the piles of junk still litter the ground. Greenbush Code Enforcement Officer Jerry Davis says the family had a year to clear their property.
This is on a larger scale than what you normally find. Truthfully, I was expecting to find 10 or 20 vehicles or something like that. And that's usually most of my cases are. This is a lot bigger scale.
William and Susan Corbett have been unemployed for 2 years, and now they owe more than $40,000 in fines and court fees.
It's draining both of us. We are both to the point of exhaustion. We almost just feel at times like just dropping to the ground. I look at my husband and I say to him, you know, is it all really worth it? And that's what they want us to say. And we're just trying to fight for our right.
The right to do as they please on their property.
By no means are they being picked on. They just chose to fight the system, and unfortunately it didn't work out.
The Corbetts aren't the only family that have seen fines for code violations.
When I hired on to Greenbush as code officer first, they asked me if I would be able to enforce the junkyard rule. And like I said, we've already taken 2 to court and 1 within the last 2 years, and I've had 67 cases solved without going to court.
The vehicles and other items will be confiscated by the town and sold as scrap metal, a crushing situation for a family at wit's end and a town that's just enforcing its rules.